So, of course, we're back for I Love and Hip Hop. I love Juju's dress. I love Yandy's hair. Very rare occurrences here. But Yandy was basically there to tell Juju that Mendices had no idea that she never sent the paper off. Like, I'm definitely agreeing with, I look crazy. I'm definitely agreeing with Juju that Mendices should have known. And I think I said that last week when she was on the phone with Mendices. Mendices definitely had a right to know that she never sent the paper off. He definitely knows now and he's pissed with her. And so she was just kind of telling that to Juju. The scene was pretty much boring. She was also telling Juju that that Samantha's best friend, supposed alleged best friend, basically reached out to her and wants to meet up because she has something to tell her about little Mendices. And so of course she's gonna go. We all know that Yandy is obsessed with little Mendices, and she's not really obsessed with Asim, to be honest. But she is obsessed with little Mendices, so it's no surprise that she was definitely planning on meeting up with this girl to hear what she has to say. Something I just want to address about Yandy is that I hate her eyebrows, and I always effing will. They are so ugly, and they're just straight like this, and then they're like, the ends of them have this tiny little arch, and they're not even like considered straight brows in my opinion. They're just weirdly straight, and they're mad close. Like, ugh, I can't. But hey, it's not my face, so you know what? I'll just leave that alone. So the next scene is Remy and Pap, who I actually love, but Remy is mad rude to Pap. I just noticed that today. Like, when he came in the room or whatever, and he was just like, who are you talking to? She rolled her eyes at him. Or she didn't roll them at him, she just rolled her eyes. And I was like, why she gotta be so rude? Like, Pap just wants to know who you talking to, Remy. Pap ends up taking her iPad from her because she was actually FaceTiming her new manager or her assistant, whatever you want to call her. I don't really know her role. She was FaceTiming her, and Pap takes the FaceTime. He's never spoke to this lady before, and I guess the lady's belly was on the FaceTime, and he's like, wait a second, are you pregnant? He was triggered immediately. He said how he likes her already. And he was like how she is able to work and be pregnant at the same time, and he doesn't understand why Rem can't do the same. And it was just really cute because you could tell how badly Pap wants this baby. On another note, Remy's ombre, if we can even call it that, was a hot fucking mess. There was no transition there. It was just black, blonde. Like, there was absolutely no transition in her hair. And so that is why we have to give it an O. No, not here for that hair at all. Yeah, I just can't get over Remy being so mean. She said that there's a fine print in their little agreement to being married, and that was basically that she hasn't made it, they haven't made it to 365 days of being married yet, therefore she still has time to get pregnant. She said that she didn't have to get pregnant right away. That was not a part of the agreement, and so she's basically trying to find a loophole to not give Pap what she promised him, which is a baby. So I do feel bad for Pap, but they're mad cute. They were kissing up on the couch after, and I was just like, oh my god, yes. Yes, Mom and Dad, come through. That's how I feel about them. I love them. I just wish Rem would give him what the hell he wants, so he'll shut up about it. It's pretty evident that Tara does not have a storyline, because why the hell is she meeting up with Mr. Potato Head? Like, I can't even deal. I was like, no, this is too much. She does not have any business, regardless if Peter's involved or not. She said it herself. They're not even on speaking terms or in a good place right now. She had no business to meet up with fucking Cisco to discuss whatever problems he's having. Like, Cisco needs to get his life. Why the hell is he reaching out to Tara, of all people? You had a problem with Rich. You took it out on Peter, and now you're reaching out to Peter's baby moms after you guys just had a fight. Like, why? Tara actually mentioned in confessional that she is trying to, or that she wants no part and she wants to stay out of the drama. Then homegirl, why the hell are you here? Like, why are you meeting up with him if you're trying to stay out of the drama? That makes no sense. Like, don't try to be a mediator and then say you're trying to stay out of it, because no matter what you say or do, the point is that you've now involved yourself in whatever problems they may have. And it definitely is none of her business, other than the fact that he took food out of her children's mouths, which is essentially why Peter was upset to begin with. She was very level-headed about the situation, which I liked. The only person that's not level-headed and seeing things the way everybody else does is Mr. Potato Head. She basically said everything that we were all thinking. She's like, that makes no sense that you have a problem with Rich and you're taking it out on Peter. Like, that makes no sense. And we said that last week, so Potato's there talking to Tara, and all of a sudden he starts getting real irate, and like he turned from a regular ass potato to a baked potato, and I was just like, he needs to relax. He was so heated. Like, I just didn't understand his anger when he started turning up, and he started being loud and obnoxious, and Tara was like, why are you banging on the bar? And I was dead. I was like, please ask this nigga again, because I don't understand why he's turning up so hard. Like, he was turning up like Jay turns up for the cameras. I was like, this doesn't make no type of sense. He was just yelling and screaming at the top of his lungs, banging on the side of the bar, and like trying to express how angry he was. He was acting like motherfucking King Kong in that bitch, and I wasn't sure why. I was like, well, what happened between like 2 frames ago and now that this nigga is turning up like this? I was mad confused. He eventually calmed down, but before he was like, turn down for what? Like, he was not trying to turn down. He was only turning up, and I honestly thought that he was gonna like leave. I thought he was gonna walk out because he didn't like what Tara had to say, but what Tara was saying was logical, so the only person that doesn't seem to get it is him at this point. At that bar scene, I was like, no, sir. This is not how you... No. If you're trying to get a point across, or if you're trying to... I don't even know. This is not how you do it, sir. We're going to have to ask you to leave immediately. We're going to have to ask you, return to the house, pack your bags, and go home. All I gathered from that was that he is weak as hell, and I need him off the show. So the next scene was Sophie at the studio session with Snoop and Votto, and Sophie's record, you guys, oh my gosh, I'm mad impressed. Like, I'm about to buy that shit off iTunes. This shit is popping, okay? That shit bangs, okay? I need that record in my life. Like, it sounds good. It sounds like a catchy record. I could fuck with that. I can see, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I can see Sophie actually having a hit. Like, go ahead, Sophie Purple. We see you, boo. We see you, boo. Like, it's real in the field for Sophie. I'm very, surprised by the shit. I'm surprised by the shit. I am, honey. I was not expecting that child to produce anything less than shitty, okay? She was recording her little song. I'm like, this shit's fire flames, honey. Yes, fuck it up. Fuck it up, fuck it up. Come through. Why they hating on me? Why they hating on me? I don't even know if those are the lyrics, but you know what? They are today. But yeah, my nigga Votto, my nigga, that's a new one, nigga. My nigga Votto was there or whatever, and he was just there to have a conversation with Snoop, I guess. Sophie finished up quick, and then she left. Snoop was just talking to Votto, and he was just like telling her, I guess, about his I'm always calling Snoop he. Oh my gosh. Snoop was talking to Votto about her relationship with Jay and how, I guess, they're supposed to like do business together now. She was just telling him, like, you know, they've gone through what they've gone through, and she's concerned about where their relationship is headed in terms of the business side of things, because so far they've only had a personal relationship and now they're entering into the business world, and that's very risky to enter into business with somebody that you were once in a relationship with, even if it just was for the coin, you know. It's still very risky to do that, and so Snoop just has a little bit of concern about that, which she fucking should, because Jay is insane, okay? And Jay needs to go back to Chicago and hang out with Chief Keef or something. Like, she needs to just go. And so that's basically all that happened in that scene. The next scene was of Major Galore, who is DJ Self's new artist, First Lady of Gwynn or whatever. I liked her introduction into the show. Like, I like her little confessional introduction, and I found her personality to be refreshing. She didn't come off as cocky. She didn't come off as arrogant or like she was the shit. She just came off as a regular ass girl, and so I like that about her. But then when she went to go sit down with DJ Self, and she was just like, I'm the First Lady of Gwynn, and she did her little snappy snap. And he was like, oh, what's all that for? And she explained it to him. I was just kind of annoyed. So I'm just like, okay, it's obvious that whatever happened that night with Mariah Lynn ripping up the contract and basically Major trying to like step in and say, you know, blah, 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 I'm a singer, you're a rapper, it's different. Obviously, Mona about to flip that whole shit into a dragged out storyline that does not need to happen. Like, they do different things, they're in different lanes, and it's fucking DJ Self. Like, why are you guys fighting over DJ Self's #1 spot? Like, who is he? I don't really know why these girls want to be, like, on Self's team so bad, but that's their business. I would not let Self manage me as a YouTuber, much less a freaking singer or rapper. Like, hell the fuck no. DJ Self looks like a kid, a big old kid to me. Like, he does not look like somebody that has it all together. Sure, he can play the records on the radio, but like, what else can he do for them? I don't know. He didn't do nothing for Cardi. That's all I know. For Cardi, he was more of just like a storyline. But yeah, this is obviously just a storyline thing. I think it's whack as hell that Mariah Lynn was at, or has allegedly said, like, not to play Major Galore's record around her. Like, that's fucking whack as fuck. And it sounds like some shit Mariah would do, because Mariah's the type of bitch. Mariah thinks that she is the shit. Like, 100% she thinks that she is the baddest bitch. Okay, she thinks that she's Trina or some shit. Like, I don't even know. So in the next scene, Rem actually is honoring Missy at the award show, and I had no idea, actually. I didn't know that Remy honored Missy Elliott. I knew that Tiana Taylor honored Lil Kim, and that got all the shine for the night, but I had no idea that Missy got honored. So I think that's really dope that she did get honored. I didn't watch it, obviously, because I would have known that, but yeah, it was dope that she did that. When she was performing and it got to, it's your friend, yeah, because no one knows what the fuck Missy's saying there. However, I don't think Missy's really saying anything, and so when Remy was saying it, it sounded weird to me. I was like, what is she trying to say? It sounded like Remy was actually trying to figure out what Missy said. I mean, what everybody else just said, it's your friend, yeah, like, ooh, but overall, her performance was cute. Anyway, Pap ends up taking Remy out to some bogus ass restaurant. And you know what I realized? That all of the restaurant, almost all of the restaurant sit downs on Love and Hip Hop are like those circle tables and 2 chairs, like stuff that you see in movies, like old 90s movies that people go on dates and like that's how the restaurants are set up. I've never been in a restaurant that's set up like that, where it's like super like intimate and like 2 chairs to a circle table. Like I've never ever been anywhere like that. Maybe that's, I don't know, but I just feel like those restaurants are not real. Like it's a set almost. And so I just wanted to put that out there. That has nothing to do with anything. They were on their little date, and of course Pap was plotting because he got Remy a so-called gift. We really gotta get out of my hair. There we go. He got Remy a gift, but the gift was in a big ass bag when it didn't need to be. And so when he gave it to Remy, Remy's like, why does it feel so light, but it's in this big ass bag? He wrapped it extremely ghetto in just tissue paper and tape. Like he didn't even try to wrap it nicely, but I guess why bother when it's what was inside was a pregnancy test, because he thinks that he hit a home run the other night when they was fucking, okay? And so I thought that was really cute that he got her a pregnancy test, but she was so annoyed with him. She's like, really, a pregnancy test? Like, no, I'm not pregnant. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, she was genuinely stressed out in that moment, because Pap is basically telling her, I ain't pull out shorty, like you finna have this baby whether you want to or not. And he's really trying to impregnate Remy, and I'm all here for it. Like honestly, Pap, I will make a pregnancy pact with Remy too, okay? I will make a pregnancy pact with both of y'all, and I'll be pregnant next week, okay? But she's obviously not pregnant because we've been seeing her on Instagram and stuff, so obviously she's not pregnant yet. But I'm definitely team Pap baby. Baby Pap, whatever. So the next scene was Mariah Lynn and DJ Self. First things first is I loved her lashes in this scene. I needed them. I was trying to look at them like, I need those in my life. Like, what lashes are those, boo? Let it bitch now. I didn't like how she was trying to like boss up and like try to tell DJ Self that she's still the first lady. But she did say that she did sign the contract now. Like, it's signed, it's good to go. But at the same time, it's just like, but bitch, you ripped it up already. You showed him the disrespect. Now that her and Cisco fell out, now all of a sudden she's signing with DJ Self. Like, if I was Self, I wouldn't even want her to sign with me no more, because I would just feel used. Like, she's trying to say her loyalty is with him. It should have been with him from the jump. She should have never have tried to like venture out and do anything else if her end plan was gonna end up with this guy anyway. Like, what the fuck was she debating? What can Cisco do for your career? Not that DJ Self can probably do anything, but what can Cisco do for your career even more? Like, no. So of course at this little meeting, Mariah Lynn brought up the fact that Major Galore is subliminally posting stuff on Instagram about being the first lady and that nobody can take that away from her. But I just feel like Mariah Lynn's just triggered because she is the first lady and she can say whatever the fuck she wants to say about being the first lady. It's not really, you know, it doesn't have to be directed at you, though it probably was, but it really doesn't mean anything. She's reading too much into it. She had her chance and she fucking blew it. So why are you mad? So the next scene was probably the sketchiest scene of the show. Yandy meeting up with the supposed best friend of Samantha. Now, she told Yandy that the meeting was going to be revolving around Little Mendices, but then when Yandy got there, the girl was talking about Erica and Samantha basically, you know, plotting against her, and that she has recorded conversations and blah, blah, blah. I was like, but bitch, who is you to have recorded conversations? In my head, all I'm thinking is, okay, this bitch works for Mona. She ain't nobody's best friend. She don't even know Samantha from nowhere. They got these recorded conversations, and the recorded conversations came from Mona herself. Like, this is all just a part of the storyline, stressing my ass out, okay? She's telling her that, yeah, I have recorded conversations, and so basically these two girls are plotting against you, mainly Erica. They want to destroy you and your family, and they want to keep the kids from you until after filming or some shit like that. And I was just like, okay, well, because because I'm on Instagram and everything like that, I know a lot of the stuff that's going to unfold, because I stay getting the tea off the gram, okay? The tea is all over the gram. I already heard these recorded conversations. They are very sketchy, and they were definitely plotting against Yandy, but the only thing we don't know is why. Like, why was it ever that deep? And so another girl, actually some guy's girlfriend that Yandy used to work with, like Yandy used to work with this guy and he had a girlfriend, and she basically got caught up in the middle of it and exposed kind of what this lady didn't want to happen to her, the lady that's telling Yandy all this stuff. She didn't want to get tied up in anything, but then she's still managing to tie herself up in it by providing Yandy with this crazy information. I was going to email her all of the sound bites from the conversations that were being had about her, and I guess take it from there. But this whole entire meetup was sketchy McSketchersons. Like, I could not deal. I was like, first of all, they made it extra dramatic by meeting up in the middle of nowhere on some side street at nighttime. Like, I honestly want to work for Love and Hip Hop, and I just want to be in like the production room where they're deciding where people are gonna film and shit, because they always pick the most perfect shit. I swear, it's so perfect. The scene was perfect, okay? Kudos to you, Mona. Kudos to you. The next scene was Major Galore and DJ Self, and then Mariah Lynn would show up in a couple of seconds or minutes, whatever. He was basically having a conversation with Major Galore, and basically ends up ambushing her or telling her that he invited Mariah Lynn because he wants to have a sit down with them. And so she's like, right now? And then he's just like, yeah, I told her to come. So that's rule number one. You don't do that. You do not spring it on somebody. You should have told them both from before and then have them both meet up at the same time so they know, like, you know, so it wasn't unexpected, because Mariah Lynn knew about the meeting but Major Galore didn't, and that meant that Major Galore didn't have time to get cute on a bitch. Like, if I am meeting up with somebody I don't like, trust and believe I'm gonna be looking mad cute. Like, you have to inform me. You can't just like show up, like, or tell them to show up. Then I'm gonna think that you're a snake. That's what he did to Major Galore, but whatever, that's neither here nor there. So Mariah Lynn shows up, and immediately this argument started, and it just started draining my energy. Like, there's a lot of things I can tolerate, but stupidity is not one of them, and they were just arguing about nonsense, and I'm just like, hey, like, you guys are fighting over some bullshit. This is what I mean, they don't have standards. Like, women should be empowering women. They shouldn't be beefing or like acting the ass on TV. They should be empowering each other, and like, they should be, one's a singer, one's a rapper. They can make a really good song together, even though Mariah Lynn raps about nonsense. Like, they can make a really dope song together. They should not be arguing and carrying on crazy, but neither of them seem to realize that. I think Major Galore in the beginning would have, you know, considered that, but because of how Mariah Lynn treated her at that event, now she doesn't like her, which I would say is fair. And it's not even because of how she treated her at the event. It was because of how she was talking shit about her after the event. So of course they're gonna have some type of beef, but it's over trivial shit. And so I was getting annoyed watching it. You couldn't even hear what they were saying to each other. All you could hear was DJ Self trying to stop them from arguing. Nobody could get a word in, and it was extremely painful. So finally it stopped, thank the Lord. And basically he ends up telling them that he only has one slot for this powerhouse thing that's happening. But in the earlier scene, he had actually already told Major Galore that it was her spot. He was gonna let her perform at the little one, and then depending on how she did there, then she would go to the big one. And she was down with performing at the little one because she just like, okay, I have to start somewhere. So she was okay with performing there. But now he's basically telling her, like, now you guys have to compete for it. If I was Major Galore, I would have been like, compete for what? No, sir. I'm gonna take my thing, then I'm gonna go. You can give it to this bitch if you want to, because I'm not competing for shit. You already promised it to me, and now you're basically reneging on your promise because of why? Because now all of a sudden, after she disrespected you and ripped up the contract, now you want to give her my slot, like, or give her a chance to take my slot? Not that she's not confident that she can, you know, put on a better performance than Mariah Lynn. But at the end of the day, he already promised her the spot. So for him to now say, now you have to compete for it is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. I would have no part in it. I would have been so far out that door. Like, no, you're not gonna play with me, DJ Self. I'm so sorry about it. This next scene, before I get into the actual scene, I must say that Method Man's fine ass was there, and I was like, yes, honey, like, come through, Meth. I love Method Man. Method Man almost killed me once, okay? That's not a joke. He almost broke my fucking neck. He slapped the shit out of me. And it was a good fucking time. But you know what? It's another thing or another story for another day, okay? But I still love Meth regardless, okay? You can slap me all the fuck you want, Method Man, with your fine ass, okay? Okay. He literally slapped the shit out of me, like, it wasn't my face or anything like that. Anyways, it was at a concert, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, Jay mother effing annoys my soul. So Snoop's on stage. This is a professional event, and actually I didn't realize it until Snoop actually said that it was, or no, until Yandy brought up the fact that it is a professional event and that Jay wasn't acting right, because usually at these little fake ass events that Mona puts on, there's not a lot of people in the crowd. It's usually the same little extras that are there. But this was actually some event that was like mind-blowing for Love and Hip Hop, okay? There was so many people there. It was rappers there, like real rappers. Like I said, Method Man was there, Votto was there. There was a couple other people that were actually known there. And I was just really, really surprised by that. So that kind of told me that, okay, Snoop's really about this life, like, you know what I mean? She's actually putting on a real event. This is not just some Mona, you know, Mona shit. Like, no, this is Snoop shit. And I was like, yes, Snoop, get you some. The crowd was actually packed. Like, when they actually panned out and showed the venue, there was people from wall to wall. Jay was in the back of the crowd or whatever. All these people are waiting for the performances to start. And Jay yells out, I love you, Snoop! And Snoop goes, I love y'all too. And then Jay's like, y'all? And I was just like, okay, either she's drunk or she's stupid. Because why was she expecting Snoop to say, I love you back? Like, she's wilding in the back of the crowd, acting up. And I'm just like, bitch, please relax. Please relax. This is why we sent your ass back to Chicago to begin with. We didn't want to deal with all this. So then the performances start. Off bat, I was like, okay, come through, Shawnee, because the artist, her name was Shawnee, and she was rap. She had like a trap vibe to her. She kind of had like a drill music vibe, actually, not trap. She had like a drill, Chicago drill type music vibe to her, and I really liked that. I was like, okay, well, that's good. Usually when people are performing on Love and Hip Hop, I'm like, no, 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 no. But it was good. And then Ike came on. I think that's the nigga with the one arm. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was him. I wasn't really paying attention. I just looked at the name on the bottom of the screen. He performed. He was dope. Okay, and then the third person to perform was Sophie Purple. And so her performance was great too. And I was just like, wow, like, Snoop actually is pulling off a really good event right now, and she actually has real talent. And so I was shocked by it, but I was happy for her. And like, I was just like, okay, this is, wow, like maybe Gorgeous Gangsta is, you know, is gonna be a real label. I think the funniest part about that is that Snoop is coming from Baltimore. She's not from New York, and she doesn't really have a solid background or foundation in music, but she's able to pull this off. Meanwhile, fucking Rich Dollars, Cisco, and DJ Self all have backgrounds in this hip-hop shit and are not doing what Snoop is doing. And so I was just like, she deserves applause, a round of applause, okay? She deserves all that because she's just doing her freaking thing. Jay is in the damn confessional. She made a statement about basically her and Snoop about to get this money together. And I just feel like she's riding Snoop's coattails, and like Snoop needs to be very mindful and cut this bitch off. Like, though she did get Sophie Green, she did make that move and like, you know, get Sophie Green for Snoop, but I'm pretty sure Snoop could have done that on her own. She didn't really need to do that. I think she just did it so that Snoop had no choice but to work with her, so that she didn't have to go back to her regular home life. I guess that was a smart move on her part, but opportunists will literally do anything to further themselves. And it doesn't matter at whose expense either. You can tell Jay is just about herself. She doesn't give a shit about Snoop, and she's doing the most. So after Sophie Green performed, Snoop, her, and Jay went off to the side, and Snoop was trying to speak, but Jay kept cutting her off, and she was cutting off Jay, and so Jay told her to shut up, and Snoop's like, don't do that. Wait, that was horrible. Don't do that, do that, do that, do that. I don't freaking know. She's like, don't do that. She basically telling her not to tell her to shut up. And she got mad or whatever. And then Sophie Green pieced the fuck out because she's like, I am not about to stand here while these two dumbasses argue. They seem to be having a relationship problem. They were dealing with personal shit at a professional event. And Snoop was not having it. She said, no. Not today, Satan. They're having their little, you know, back and forth, and then Jay's like, well, you can fuck whoever you want to fuck. And Snoop just stops in her tracks, and she's like, what are you talking about? Like, you're obviously drunk, bitch, because why was that even a thing? I was confused too. I was like, okay, Jay stays turning up for the camera. Like, she can't even help it, I don't think. She's just a natural born actress, you know what I'm saying? Snoop was irritated, and so Snoop ends up walking away because this is Snoop's event and she's trying to keep it as professional as possible, but Jay is really hindering her from doing that. After she walks away, Jay's like, oh, now we really gonna fight, okay? And then Jay goes and chases after her, and I'm just like, Jay, why are you doing this? Like, she's walking away from you because you're ruining the event. People, like, she's standing in the middle of the thing yelling at Snoop, and Snoop is embarrassed. Like, I would be embarrassed too. There was no need, like, take care of that shit after or something, you know what I mean? Like, talk about it when you're sober. Like, what? You can't bring certain people places because they don't know how to act. And I ain't with the shit either. So I was feeling kind of bad for Snoop because there's no reason why Snoop should have to leave her own event. So Snoop tries walking away from her. Jay chases after her. Jay looks like a freaking idiot running around the damn club half naked. She finds Snoop. Snoop is trying to leave, and she's like, then I'm leaving too. And she's like stalking Snoop in the club, and then she links onto Snoop's arm and goes outside with her, and Snoop's like, nah, like, I don't want nothing to do with you right now. And I honestly think that Snoop may think that she's a whole nigga, because if I were Snoop in the situation, I would have beat Jay's ass right then and there. Like, what? Snoop was just letting her, I would have slapped the shit out of her. You're not a nigga, Snoop. You can hit her. Like, you can hit her. I just want to give you that reminder that you are not a guy. It's okay if you hit her. It is so okay, because I would have, like, there would have been no long talking, because they were doing a whole lot of long talking. Even when she tried to leave and walk away, they were still doing the most. And so I would have beat her ass. I really would have. There would have been no question about it. Snoop leaves the venue, period, and Jay's like, I hate this about Jay. She has this, like, frustrated scream that she does. It's like, oh, oh, like, I can't even imitate it. It reminded me of, like, a little Caucasian child on Super Sweet 16 on MTV that's not getting her way for her birthday. Like, that's what Jay's little scream reminded me of, and I just wanted to just reach in the damn computer screen and beat her. And my final thoughts on Jay, other than that she needs to go home, is that she needs mother effing therapy stat. But anyway, moving on to the last scene of this show. So the last and final scene of the night was back to Peter and Potato Head, and basically they were using the Range Rover as a table or like a divider. I don't know if they were told to stand on either side of the Range Rover, but they were standing on either side like two scary ass niggas. They got to talking. I'm definitely Team Peter in this situation when it pops off. I was Team Peter from last week just because Cisco's dead wrong for trying to stop somebody else's money. Like, no. Cisco's personality makes me literally cringe. Whether he's in confessional or talking in person, I cringe the entire time because I'm just like, You're trying so hard to mask your emotions. You're trying so hard to bottle them up. You're literally in physical pain from doing it. He's abusing himself and then taking it out on other people, and I don't think that's fair at all. Everybody has a different way to cope, but the way that he's coping, like, Cisco is taking out all of his aggression and anger. That he's angry with God, first of all, because in this scene in particular, he starts saying, like, you know, God can't take anything else away from him. What can he take away? And so it's evident to me that the reason that Cisco is acting this way and taking and trying to stop Peter's money and, like, having a problem with Rich and having a problem with everybody that he's considering his friend, because he just feels like he's lost so many other things that nothing can make him happy again, or he's just lashing out because his life is falling apart on him and he doesn't know how to deal with it. And so I sympathize with him that his life is falling apart, but at the same time, you can't try to tear everybody else down because your shit ain't right. Like, you know what I mean? Despite what it is. It doesn't matter what you're going through. You cannot try to ruin somebody else's life because yours is a wreck. Peter tells him that if he came and he was saying that he had the money in his pocket for him to come take it, the situation would have played out the exact same way. And so Cisco's like, let me save you the trouble. And he steps away from the Range Rover and goes to step in front of it so that he can lunge at Peter, and then Peter does the same thing and wants to lunge at him. But security, honey, security was on Pizzoy, okay? Security said, not today, Satan. We're not letting you guys do this. And so security was in there like swimwear. Like, I don't think either of them got a tap in. Like, it was real. It was so freaking real. Like, they just were not having the fighting. They weren't. And so it's at this point where Cisco starts letting it all hang out. He's not really venting to Peter. He's just venting and saying those things like, there's nothing else God can take from him. You don't know what's going on with my mother, blah, blah, blah. And Peter's like, have you told me? Like, you know what I mean? Have you brought it up to me? Have you said anything to me about it? And Cisco just keeps, he's not really listening at that point, and he just keeps saying side comments, and Peter starts to feel concerned about him and starts to ask him, like, you know, what's wrong? Like, talk to me. So eventually he calms down. Peter admits that he does not want to fight because he's a grown-ass man. Like, what is he doing fighting somebody that's supposed to be his friend? Cisco's definitely emotionally damaged and drained, and I don't think that Love and Hip Hop is a good space for him right now. I don't think that that's something that he should be involving himself with, because he's dealing with so much in real life that to be on this show, this fairy tale ass soap opera, like, I just feel like it's not a good look. It's not a good idea for him to be on a show that's so emotionally draining. Like, you have so much personal drama that you shouldn't be adding more fake drama to your life. That's how I feel about his whole situation. He's definitely in need of some serious therapy and some serious prayer. Like, Cisco's definitely going through it. He said that his mom is dying. I didn't think that she was actually dying. I thought that she was sick and would die, but I didn't think that, you know, I wasn't sure of the severity of her health and well-being. He also mentioned that he lost his wife. And to me, I'm pretty sure his wife was on that initial season when Strawberry was there. And to me, I just feel like he did that to himself. I really remember his wife and kids being on the show, and he wanted to be with Strawberry, so that's his shit. Cisco did that to himself with his baby mama when he involved Strawberry, because when he was with Strawberry for 2 years, he fathered another baby with his baby mama, and that baby was about 6 months. He ruined his relationship with his baby mother himself. That is nobody. He has nobody to blame but himself for losing her. And so there's certain things that I didn't feel bad about feel bad for him for, but other things that I did, like his mom, I definitely feel for him for that. Feel for him with that situation. But at the same time, he can't be trying to tear everybody else down because his life is up in smoke. Like, who does that? After Cisco kind of like calms down, basically he starts spilling the tea about what's been going on in his life, and Peter listens like a good friend would, and he comes from a place of understanding, and they basically hash it out, hug it out, smooch. Okay, they didn't kiss, but they hug it out, and like two men should, and you know, they're gonna move on from the situation. I liked that scene. It was nice to see that there was a resolve there, because a lot of the time on this show ain't no resolve. They're no longer going to be beefing. Anyway, I know next week is going to be lit and I can't wait. The little preview looks very good. But yeah, this season has definitely been lots of ups and downs. Even though there's like so many new people, it's still been an okay season so far. It's still everything we expect from Love and Hip Hop, so we can't complain. Make sure you guys check the description box for all of the products used in this video. And if I forget anything, because sometimes I'd be forgetting stuff, then just leave it in the comments and I will definitely check and put the answer there for you.